Surprise, mother... Can't say that. Would've. Can't. It's a surprise recap. 5 games on Saturday. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and Kristaps Porzingis is sick. I guess he's contagious. I wonder how long it's going to take him to come back. It's probably going to take the... I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and today's episode, it is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Thank you also for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free. We are available on all platforms. Bit spicy today. It is just absolutely teeming with rain here, and it has been for like the last 9 hours. So I don't know what's going on. So maybe I'm just a little bit on edge. Not as on edge as if what would happen if you're a big man for the Hawks or a guard for the Pacers, because apparently you're just going to get hurt. And we're going to talk about all of that with the 5 games on Saturday. Just nonsense everywhere. There's just so much stuff going on, and we've got to be really cautious about overreacting or even underreacting, but just making sure that we react in some way. We are talking about the recap show. That's exactly where we're at. We are talking about Saturday's games. Reminder for Sunday, I didn't do this on the Sunday preview show, early games. So get your lineups set nice and early. Before we get into talking about the games, let's take a look at some waiver wire trends over the last 48 hours. Who's been added? Who's been dropped? Is there anything that we can take out of that? Let's go to the most added players. Number 1 on that list is one that makes a lot of sense. It is Ben Shepherd in Indiana. We'll talk about the Pacers game later on, but Andrew Nembhard, it doesn't look good. We don't really have a time frame, but it doesn't feel like it's just you are missing one game. It feels to me like it's weeks. I don't know about months, but it does feel that way. And we already know that TJ McConnell is out and that everyone else is hurt as well. So, Shepherd, interesting add. Ron Holland, the second most added player. I don't mind it. Last game with some foul trouble. I don't know if I'd prioritize him that much, though. He's fine to do, of course. Dominic Barlow, people streamed him in for today, and, of course, he lasted like 12 minutes. You can go ahead and probably drop him in most cases. Isaiah Stewart, why are people still adding him? I guess they did it because they thought Duren might get suspended, and we've heard nothing about Duren getting suspended. And some of this is probably carryover from a couple of days ago, but absolutely he is not a must-roster player, Isaiah Stewart. No. And then Dylan Brooks probably is. He's at least fine to have taken that flyer on. We'll see how it all pans out, especially when Jalen Green returns. The most dropped players, we get a little bit of information out of these guys. Well, we'll talk about Isaiah Jackson later on, but both he and Jay Huff are 2 of the top 3 most dropped names, as people did react pretty swiftly after opening night, which you understand why people reacted that way, because people can be impulsive, obviously. But we have differing situations occurring all over the place there. And again, I don't know that it's necessarily the wrong decision, because there are many, many options that Rick Carlisle can go to, but it is interesting. D'Angelo Russell, the second most dropped player, yeah, it's an easy drop. Bud Hield, again, should never have been on rosters. And then I was very surprised to see people cutting bait with Ace Bailey. Now, it's been terrible. Obviously, it's been terrible. But I thought if you made the move to reach for Ace Bailey in your draft, you would have more belief in him than what I do. And I've got a small amount of belief, not a huge amount, but people are just done. We're in one of these situations where I don't think it's Bailey playing 12 minutes because they think he sucks. Maybe he might suck, I don't know. But I think it's largely just a return from the illness. So I would like to see what happens when, let's give it 3-4 more days. And then if he stays at 18 minutes and can't hit shots, then cool, see you later. It feels a little, again, if you made the move to prioritize drafting Bailey, I don't know, even though those games were bad, role is so important, and there's nothing to suggest in those games that this is a permanent role for Arias. So that's a little iffy to me. I don't imagine this is going to be a particularly long show. There are only 5 games on, but you know me, I can be verbose at times. Let's get in and talk about the first game. It's a huge one. It's a revenge game for the GOAT, Nikola Vucevic, going to Orlando to take on the Orlando Magic. And the Bulls win. 110-98. You are seeing a lot of teams that people thought were going to be good this season having some early season struggles. This happens a lot. The first week or two is incredibly goofy in the NBA. This stuff just happens, and it does take time for new pieces to fit in and to get their sort of legs together. So just don't, we can't overreact a huge amount. But the reaction I'll give you here. What is this from Matas Buzelis? And I'm not necessarily blaming him, but it's bad. You look at it on the surface, you go, bro, he played 12 minutes. Did we get hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray? No, he fouled out in 12 minutes. It did seem a little weird. 3 points, 3 rebounds. All you can do in fantasy here with Matas Buzelis is just go, yeah, that sucks, but what am I going to do about it? Just go on to the next one. With him out, the Bulls' other GOAT, Patrick Williams, stepped up. 29 minutes, 12, 5, and 5 with 2 steals. Cool. Don't care. Don't need to do anything with that. What you do need to do is, while Kobe White is out, another couple of weeks maybe, you got to add Trey Jones. 13, 5, and 8 with 5 steals. I love it when I put the guy on the cover of the preview show and then he cooks. That's fantastic, which is exactly what happened with Trey. I love that. But if you don't get Trey Jones, Pants is looking all right. Again, I don't think that when Kobe returns that Kevin Huerter will be this good, but 11, 7, and 6 with a steal, he's very good. That is 12-team worthy. Giddey did not shoot well, but 21 and 8, 3 assists, 2 threes. It's been a pretty solid start. And then Vooch also shot well again. Now, his volume is incredibly low, 15 and 8, but he shot 71% from the field. Hit his only 3. We know what'll happen. This will come down. I don't know when, but it will come down. But he's been rock solid, red hot to begin the season, Vooch, yet again. I think Isaac Okoro, which again is just, what is that Bulls trade of Lonzo Ball for Isaac Okoro? I think he's terrible. What is he doing out there? He missed all 6 of his shots. He had 4 rebounds. I would assume he was just a better player. Kevin Huerter is just a better player. Different player, better player. 27 minutes for Dosunmu, 15 points, 60%. There's not a lot else happening in that. The 3 threes are nice. If we saw that he replaced Isaac Okoro, which is definitely possible, then yeah, I'm more interested in Dosunmu in 12s. At the moment, he feels more of a 14-team, 175-player type of league guy versus being someone that you got to fall all over yourself to try and snaggaroo. The Orlando Magic side of the game, there was no Jalen Suggs. It was the second game of a back-to-back, so Tyus Jones started, and he was just way worse than his brother. I do think that Tyus is... I think he might be washed. He started in Washington 2 years ago. I didn't think he was very good. He went to Phoenix and started. Definitely not good. And now he looks worse. I think undersized guard. I think he's bad. 14 minutes, scoreless, missed all 5 of his shots. You do not need to roster him. It was worthy of a stream, and I did look to stream him today because Suggs was out. He was bad. I don't know if I'd do it again. I would consider doing it with Mr. Black, who played 30 minutes. He had 19 and 5 and a 1-1. Very good game. We have seen Anthony Black have games like this before, and then he'll come out and have 3 points on 7 shots with 1 rebound. It is at least worth noting that next time that Suggs sits, I'd probably lean towards Black over Jones. Franz Wagner had some foul trouble, but overall fine, 17 and 7 with 2 steals. And Desmond Bane led the team in shot attempts in game 1, but since then, the next 2 games have been more in line with why I was fading him. He was getting drafted in round 3 in some spots, in round 4. To me, he was like a guy you look at in maybe the 60s because I just didn't really know how it was all going to fit. 14, 5, and 3. He shot well, but no threes. 58% shooting, no free throws. He's not... I don't think that Bane is going to be able to repeat what he did in Memphis. Wendell Carter Jr., this just could have been good, but it was fine, but it could have been good. He had 8 points on 14%, but 13 boards, 2 steals, 31 minutes. Every game, you look at it, you go, oh, that's bad. And you go, actually, maybe it's not. Maybe it's okay. Given and we'll talk about this when we get to Indiana, and you see it with a lot of these bad centers around, given the uncertainty around so many centers, having someone who's maybe just okay, maybe there's value in just like feeling good about it. Like, I know people are always going to be like, oh, when's Goga going to start? Never. Like, he is not going to start over Wendell Carter unless there's an injury. I'm very certain of that. And Carter is he's playing better than last season. And he's just doing fine. Without being good, he's being fine. Paolo Banchero, rough start to the season, but 2 blocks and 82% from the line. So that's amazing. Now the problem is where are all the assists? Why does he not get assists anymore? He only got 1 here. I think he got 1 in the first 2 games as well. I think it'll come, but at least we got 2 of the things to be a little bit different in the way we wanted them to. Tristan da Silva had been great, and then the shot didn't fall, and there's just not ramp up. There's not room for da Silva to be enough of an option for 130s, 150s, 12-team leagues. Maybe more of a 175-player league, but it's probably honestly more of a 216-team league guy. He's a scorer, and you need efficiency, and you need volume. And if they don't both come, then it is hard to get super excited about what the big fella Aravinda is going to deliver. We are going to come back and talk about the other games today's episode, though. It is brought to you by Monarch. Most of us can't name all of our financial accounts. You can't even tell yourself what you're worth. 401k, savings, investments, properties. It can be easy to lose track, and that can mean leaving money on the table. And Monarch is one of the solutions for you. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool bringing your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. It can link up with your partner as well, so you can track all your spending, categorize it, set your budgets in there, keep everything in that one spot. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarch.com for 50% off your first year. That is monarch.com. The code is LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year. Today's episode is also brought to you by Game Time. And with the basketball season officially here, nothing beats being there live to watch your favorite team. And getting tickets has been a pain in the past. But with Game Time, we can eliminate a lot of that pain. Instead of having random prices and fees chucked on and staying in queues and surges and all that sort of stuff, Game Time makes the process of getting tickets to see your favorite team easy. They've got the zone deals. You can just pick an area in the arena where you want to sit, and Game Time will go about and find the best deal for you in that area. You can even find NBA tickets for under $25. So take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. The code is LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. We're doing the recap. We are having a squiz at the games on Saturday. There are 5 of them. So let us move on to talking about the second game of the day. This one here, we've got the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Atlanta Hawks. Pretty easy win in the end for Oklahoma City. Both teams with injuries, but a lot of the ones in Atlanta were a little bit random. I wasn't expecting them to go the way that they did. We'll talk about that in a sec. But for the Thunder, we did get Kaysen Wallace returning. The Hong Kong mattress was back, and he moved Aaron Wiggins to the bench. Now, Wiggins was all right, 9 and 5 in 27 minutes, but you do not need to roster Aaron Wiggins in 10s, 130s, 150-player leagues, 12s. And even in 14s, it's probably borderline. I probably would still hold Wiggins in that slightly deeper, but you don't need to. He had 9 and 5. Lou Dort continues to be just like insanely over-rostered. He got 2 steals. And I guess part of it is adding him for this 3-game quality game run from the Thunder, but that's done now. So bye-bye Lou, outside of like 200-player deep leagues. Let's talk about Chet Holmgren. 31 and 12. He hit 6 triples. He got his first block of the season and went 9 of 10 from the line. It's not easy to do sell highs, obviously. I would definitely do it after this. 30% usage. When Jalen returns, won't have that. Won't go 9 of 10 from the line. Won't shoot 6 of 8 from 3. He just won't do this stuff. But this was great. Very clearly, this was great. You always want to see, will anyone give me someone I'm more confident in being a top 20 player back? Hartenstein had been struggling, but we got a nice 14 and 10 double-double with 2 steals. But I guess the big story here is AJ Mitchell. Mitch had 14, 7, and 7. He had 2 steals and 2 threes. And we'll say this right now. He is very good. We talked about him as a bit of a random late flyer, saying, I wish that there was an opportunity for him to get enough minutes, but I just don't think there is. And they are still without Jalen Williams, Alex Caruso, and testicle legend Nikola Topic, as well as Isaiah Joe. Now, it is very easy. In fact, it would be, I think, prudent of you to suggest that Mitchell will play over Joe. So if you want to not criticize me, if you're ready to type something, just say, Josh, he's better than Joe. Agree. Done. You could tell me that he's better than Tobic. Of course he is. Easily done. Ahead of Tobic, no problem. You could tell me he's better than Lou Dort. I full-heartedly agree with you. But for that one, it doesn't matter whether I do. It matters whether Mark Dagnott does. I guess the question is going to be, will they look to Mitchell to be useful more than Case and Wallace is? This was great, but you still have to do the 240 game. You've got to get 34 minutes of Jalen. You've got to get 20 minutes of Alex Caruso in there. That's 54 minutes. And then that's also like, is Joe and Topic just getting zeros? I love what Mitchell has done. Use him for now, sure. We don't know when these guys are coming back. And what I liked here, opening night with this same configuration, although Caruso was in there, he played like 17 minutes. But here, we've got 29 out of AJ. So for now, yeah, look, we ride AJ out. I really don't think it's going to be able to hold long term. I would love it to. I don't think it will. But it is a little bit of a concern in terms of just where those minutes go. One of the real ways you can get an advantage in fantasy is by trying to watch what others do in terms of overreaction. Now, sometimes you're not able to do it. People might just be they just be yapping. They just say stuff without actioning it. Because like AJ Mitchell's been great, right? He has. He's got a 27% usage this season. He was at 16 last season. I just find it really difficult to believe that he's at 42% from three. I find it really difficult to believe that he'll maintain 27 minutes a night, 27% usage, while shooting 42% from three. Like 4 assists, 19 points, a steal. Like there's some stuff in there which is fine. But that usage role, so not only will Jalen return and take minutes, but he's just not going to be able to do this stuff. And there's going to be a great example of this coming up later on as well when we get to the Memphis game. There's a little bit of a spoiler for you. Shea was good, 30 and 4, 5 assists. Like that's good. Obviously, it's strong. What do you want to say about that? Let's talk about the Hawks because Porzingis out again with an illness. When I asked about this yesterday, it was like he was at shoot around. Then I think he just got sick and couldn't go. So I don't think it's a Potts thing. I don't think it's anything else. So hopefully he is just fine and returned. But then Ricochet missed for his second straight game, and Jalen Johnson out with an ankle sprain, which he didn't have any ankle problems last season, but 2 years ago he did. So we just keep an eye on that. But they were obviously just completely banged up. Let's look at Jalen out. We got the night watchman, Mohamed Waiver. He was in the starting lineup, and yesterday without Porzingis, Gay was great. This time without Porzingis and without Johnson, Gay was great again. Was he great? He was good. He was good. 11, 6 and 2, 2 blocks and 2 threes. But I think what we know about Mohamed Gay is that if one of these big men's out, you are absolutely looking at streaming him. The other thing to look at there is the big fella Asa Newell, rookie, very young. 25 minutes, 12 and 9. This is who the Hawks got after trading back in the Derek Queen New Orleans Pelicans deal. 12 and 9 with 3 threes. We just keep an eye on that. Okongwu played 35 minutes, 11 and 12, 4 assists, steal and a block. If you invested in Okongwu, it is paying off early, obviously for reasons. And the other thing that's happening is Nickeil Alexander-Walker is doing a lot. For the time being, you've got Porzingis, Johnson, Ricochet all out. I don't know for how long, but Alexander-Walker, while that's happening, do it. 20 or 30 minutes actually, 17 and 3, 2 steals, a block. And after shooting like 10% in the opener, he was at 60% here. He's benefiting from a lot of these other guys going missing, but I will also just say this. Is it crazy? And I'm probably going to get my passport revoked here. Is it crazy to say that he's a better player than Dyson Daniels? He's been better than him this season easily. Dyson's struggling. So you just watch that. As for Dyson, now if you drafted him, you were well aware that he wasn't going to have high usage. Maybe you weren't. You thought, he's young, he's going to get more usage. It was going to be impossible for him to get more usage this season, I thought, versus last season. And we talked at length about having 3 steals a game. It's just not a realistic expectation. And he could lose half a steal. He could lose 0.6 steals per game and still lead the league, and value drifts away. You're seeing that now. The usage isn't there. He had 8 points in 27 minutes. That's not good. The shooting is bad. He was a minus 12, and he got a steal, which is fine, but that is 3 steals in 3 games. Last season, the pace would have been 9 steals in 3 games. 8-4-1 with a steal and a block. I'm not saying that you're dropping Dyson Daniels, but this is part of where, when I invented the Durant ranking system for category leagues, it was invented so that someone like Dyson Daniels didn't pop up at number 10 on your rankings. Because we understand, and I think I've proven it a lot, is that steals are incredibly volatile and they completely misrepresent a player's value. So I had him in I think 49th, 51st or something in Durant. And obviously he's way worse than that. And I think he'll be better, but it's not looking good. It's been a pretty slow start from Trae Young as well. 15 points with 10 assists, didn't shoot well. I was also down on Trae Young this season. I expect that he'll be better than this, but I'll say this much. The start from Trae I'm not going, man, I can't believe this. Because I like Trae a lot. But I'm also looking at this and going, it's not something where it's just completely unfathomable to me that this is what the production looks like. I said this wasn't going to be a long show, but of course I lied. Apologies for that. We'll come back to look at the other games. Today's episode, though, it is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there is no better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. So you can be watching the game, you go, how did I miss it? I came in even 10 minutes after the scheduled time, but somehow actually I didn't miss it. I got it because the game hasn't started, but that's okay. But even if you're doing something else and you come in, you can do live betting on FanDuel, and you can do it and combine the live bets into a same-game parlay, plus all the other different types of bets that FanDuel offers across NBA games. So you are a new customer on FanDuel. This is role play. You or me will do role play. You're a new customer at FanDuel, and I say to you, would you like to place a bet? And you go, yes, I'll have a $5 bet. And I say, you should pick one that wins, because if you do, that means you'll get $300 in bonus bets. You go, that sounds like a great idea. Where can I go and download the app? Well, you can go to FanDuel.com right now to download the app, place your $5 bet, win your $300 in bonus bets. Sign up, play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA, and don't forget to gamble responsibly. All right, I've got an uncanny ability to just turn whatever is happening longer than necessary. Yeah, I don't love that for me. Let's go into the Charlotte Hornets and the Philadelphia 76ers, which is the third game of the day here on Saturday. The Hornets decided, and we thought that they might, Charles Lee said he was going to decide to mix up the starting group, and we thought that probably means the center position. No, it wasn't. It was actually the shooting guard position with the big Areola, Concaniple moving to the bench, and the Padawan, Colin Sexton, starting. Now, that's annoying. But the big story here is Brandon Miller left after 9 minutes. I know some of you thought, oh no, the wrist again. Apparently not. It's a shoulder issue. And it didn't look like anything significant except for his reaction, which honestly, very similar to Andrew Nembhard's injury. I'm very worried. I am very worried about it. So, if Brandon Miller is out, that means you're going to get more out of Concaniple and more out of Colin Sexton. As for Sexton, he had 21, 2, and 7. On the surface, very good. I don't know why he couldn't hit his free throws. He was efficient. But as is the case with Sexton, he is not a player that plays winning basketball. Minus 19 in this game. He is too small, he cannot defend, and he is not a particularly good passer. He can be an efficient shooter, but he's just not a good player. The thing here is, though, if Miller is out, he's going to need to be relied upon. So if you want to go grab Sexton after this injury, do it. As for Knipple, 14 and 3 with an assist, 3 threes. It's okay. If I'm in a 175 player league, a 14-man league, that's useful. In 12s, I'm probably not there. Ryan Kalkbrenner played 26 minutes. He had 14, 7, steal, block, perfect from the field. That's just must roster. We talked at length about him, and I wanted him to get the starting spot because he had by far the best fantasy game. I just wasn't confident they were going to do it. But they did do it. They've done it 2 games in a row. Now, they could easily just switch it up next game, but I think that you've got to get your hands on Big Cock and try to get him if you can. As for Moussa Diabate, he was not good here. 6 points on 2 shots. Horrid from the free throw line. He did block a shot, which he doesn't normally do. If you wanted to move on from Diabate, do it. I don't think that you need to hold him because he, again, is not He's not a particularly high upside player, or he's not very good. Maybe that's more accurate. LaMelo Ball, some questionable decision-making at the end, but whatever. 27, 9, and 8, 3 steals, 1 block, 4 threes. Big numbers. While Bridges had 18, 10, and 7, big numbers also. He was very underrated in draft season, Miles Bridges. I think I got him in a lot of mocks. I don't know if I got him in any real drafts, but he just was always falling. Let's talk about the Sixers. They went with the same starting group, but Dom Barlow lasted 16 minutes before getting injured. And we also saw some other interesting developments. Let's start with Barlow. Look, I don't know whether he's going to miss time. It's an elbow laceration. I don't think it's going to be serious, but he's a stream guy for a day like this. What you saw, though, was the big avocado, Andre Drummond, really usurping Adem Bona. Bona had 1 point. Embiid is playing. Embiid's minutes are going to go up. Bona is struggling. Drop him. Just drop Bona in 10s, 12s, 14s. Done. Don't necessarily add Drummond, but he was great here. 7 and 13 with 2 steals. He has historically cooked Charlotte. Like he just kills them. No matter who plays there, he always kills them. Maxey was inefficient, but 28, 6 and 9 is great, while Embiid was awesome. 20 points, 20 minutes, 4 assists, 2 steals, 64%. Now, he is on a minutes restriction that Nurse was saying is probably going to increase soon. But you love seeing this versus what you saw in Game 1. And Embiid was saying that he doesn't like these restrictions and the stints that he's on because it causes him to feel more pressured in terms of, I've only got certain opportunities to do things. Nurse mixed it up. He just played like all of his minutes early because he was cooking. So that worked out. That's a great sign. I'd still be... Anyone want to give me a top 60 player, I'd do it. But that's good. What I love about this from the dominatrix VJ Edgecombe is that he didn't shoot well, 40%. Right? That's not good. He didn't have high usage, 19%. It's not high. He still played 40 minutes. He had 15, 6, and 8 with 3 steals and a block. That is incredibly encouraging. That line, the 8 assists is high, but that line is something that you could see happen more and more. 40 minutes is outrageous, obviously. And when Paul George returns, there's going to be some impact. And Jared McCain returning will be some impact. But I'll say this. Edgecombe is way more important to this team in the future than George. And he's way more important than McCain, in my mind. Way more important. I don't have any real concerns about McCain stopping Edgecombe. George will be interesting. But like I said, the key data we got out of this game is that he had below average usage at Edgecombe and was still pretty good because he did things in other spots. And that's what you want. You don't want him to be solely reliant upon just having the ball all the time. So, feel good about that. We'll see. There's going to be impact, obviously. But we'll see. Grimesy, after his first game, was not good. This one was. 24, 3 and 4, 5 threes, 30 minutes, 50% shooting. I think he gets hurt more by George and McCain. For now, he's a fine guy to have. Long term, I'm not sure he's going to do enough. And that is 2 bad ones in a row from Oubre. Or not bad, just fine ones. 19, 1 and 1. He will also suffer when George returns, but given the fact that Barlow got hurt, again, I don't think it's a long-term thing. Oubre remains fringy, but I can see sort of some of the writing on the wall in terms of the value perhaps leaving us. Let's go to the next game, the Indiana Pacers, the Memphis Grizzlies. I did not think that we were going to see a game that James Wiseman, DMPCD from the first game, would start. He also, like Isaiah Jackson, is coming off an Achilles tear. He also is a very bad real-life player. So Jackson moved to the bench and Wiseman started. Let's just start with Blunty. 20 minutes, 4 and 4 and a block. Do not believe that you think... Jesus, what were those words? Those words should not go in that order in a sentence. Do not think that this means, Wiseman, is he in it? No. I'd need him playing a Wilt-esque 50 minutes a night before I get excited about Jim. Don't do it. But what it does do, and we talked a lot about taking flyers on the Pacers centers with the understanding that they have 5 different options that they can use. So what it means is Isaiah Jackson had 3 points in 12 minutes with a block, and he's probably going to sit tomorrow's game. Bye. Wiseman probably sits tomorrow too. Huff. He could be a great stream for tomorrow, actually, because it's going to be him and Tony Bradley. But he played 10 minutes. He also is not a good real-life player. 2 points, no defensive stats, no threes. If you wanted to hold Huffy for tomorrow, just to see what happens, go for it. And then we also got no Andrew Nembhard. So it was Ben Shepherd who started. 9, 5, and 3. That is underwhelming. Underwhelming. But not only is Nembhard out, McConnell out, Furphy was out, Quentin Jackson was out, Cam Jones was out. They also lost Talon Peter, and Bennedict Mathurin with an injury. So yeah, just hold on to the big fella Ben Shepherd and let's see what happens. He's not a particularly good player. He's not a particularly good real-life player or a fantasy per-minute guy. But there's just so many guys out. Toppin's the guy you want of the big man, 13 and 9 with 2 threes. Still being inefficient, and he's not a particularly high upside guy, but he's just better than all those other guys. Well, Siakam had only 13 points, and Mathurin was on an absolute heater. I think he was 8 of 10. He missed his last 2 shots after that. He finished with 26 points. And then he got hurt. I didn't see anything specific with the injury. They said foot soreness, but obviously there's just a lot happening now. Now, if he didn't get hurt, this would have been a great time for me to say, you got to sell this like crazy because this man is just hitting everything. Bro was going at 80% in this game, and he's going to have to do a lot with these players out, obviously. And now Nembhard being out means he has to do even more. But is he going to miss now as well? His usage so far this season is 28%. His true shooting is 73%. So when I tell you that he's like shooting well above his head, he is. He hasn't got a single steal or block. His rebounds are good, and his assists are very low. He is thriving on the usage and the incredible efficiency. And those two things, especially the efficiency, will come back. But now the big question is injury. And they just don't have any guards. There is nobody there. Neesmith was better, but still, I'm getting the feeling with Neesmith that no matter who's in or who's out, it doesn't really change much. 15, 1 and 1, but obviously I wouldn't drop him given just everyone going down at the moment. While Ray J. Dennis, videotape legend, if you're in deeper leagues, in 200 pluses, he had 6 assists, he shot 11%, so it could have been a lot better, but he's just going to have to play. Jarris Walker was not as good as the first game, 15%, but he had 6 and 7 with 3 assists and a block. He can handle the ball a little bit. He can't really shoot. I don't think that I'd be rushing to grab him, but this team is it's just honestly disaster territory here. I talked about them on the over-under show at the start of the year and said, why is this over-under set so high? Like, their front court is terrible, and now their backcourt is getting annihilated. They've got nobody. It's really, really bad. So when I say all of that, and you want to talk about what Memphis did, and what Memphis did was destroy them, 128-103, understand that the level of opposition was not particularly good. Now, I know the number one person that everyone's going to want to talk about here, it is the chicken. The coward. The yellow belly. Black snake at a barbecue? Someone got that. Cedric Coward. Because you're going to go, oh my God, 27 points. What is this guy? 27 points. We are so back. And yeah, this is hater FC time. This is toxic negativity from me. I added him in a few leagues that went like 180 plus deep. I think that there is opportunity here. He is a good shooter. He shot really well through college. He had 27, 6 and 4 here, the chicken. He had 6 threes. But let's just have a look at some of Cedric Coward's numbers to begin this season. He's averaging 19 points. That is actually amazing. How's he doing it? He's shooting 73% from 3. 73. That number could easily just be half. That would mean he's like a 37% shooter, which is really good as a rookie. But half. Throw in that he's hitting 69 giggity on his twos with a true shooting of 88%, and there is zero shot. And you say, we don't expect this, but we think he's going to be good. But yeah, I get that, right? But when you go from 70% from the field and he goes to 48, and that means that 19 points per game comes down to 13, and 2.73s comes down to 1.8, and he's giving you under 4 rebounds and under 2.5 assists, then what are you basing it on? He still also only shot 92% from line, so that could easily drop 10 percentage points without blinking at all. So I know that sounds like I'm being a hater, because let me just stop you right there. He has been awesome. I didn't know what to make of him. We had such a limited sample size from college the year before, but incredibly long arms, really good defensive instincts, and the shooting was solid, and he plays this huge position of need, and they need him. But before you get overly excited, it is going to drop in a massive way. It is going to fall off hugely. If I was them, I'd want to start him. I don't really know where you do it because Wells and KCP are both locked in at those spots. But he can find 27 off the bench, I think, easily enough. Just understand that shooting, zero shot. None. Not happening. Not going to happen. Remind me of it. You can come back and talk to me about it. It's just not happening. And it's exciting to look at the scoring. I get it. I am excited for you. I'm excited for him. If you want to add him, that's great. You don't get today's game. If you want to add him, go for it. I've added him. Let me actually just check how many I added him. Yeah, no, actually, I didn't add him. I drafted him in one league. There you go. I think I'll be adding him in some others coming up. But it's got to be a situation that makes sense. It's got to be a spot that you're not relying upon what he did here. I would also throw that out that John Concha had 9-5 and 2 3 steals and 2 blocks in this game because the opponent was not competitive. Morant played on a back-to-back, so surprising, but encouraging. And Javon Small looks pretty good too. 16, 2 and 6. Nice little deeper league guy. Jaren only had 17 points. Jalen Wells, after some really promising preseason stuff, is struggling. If you wanted to drop Jalen Wells and add Cedric Coward, I get it. But I think Wells' numbers will go up. Coward's will come down. But Wells is not necessarily a must-hold 12-team league guy. You can drop. KCP was fine. The 5 assists are a little surprising for him. He is a streamer for 12 and not a must-roster guy. While Aldama had 9 and 8, we don't need to worry about him in 12-team leagues. But yeah, that little situation there with Coward is a really big focus. He is going to be the talk of fantasy at the moment. And we really need to be, again, if you've got the spot, you want to drop Isaiah Jackson, who cares? Do it. That is why you stream. But if you're like, I'm going to drop Amen Thompson, you won't. I'll drop Reed Shepherd or I'll drop, who else? I don't know. Someone stupid because this man's hitting 74% of his threes. Just settle. Just be realistic with what you expect. Be realistic. That's all I want to ask. And then we've got the final game of the night, which I don't know that there's as much to talk about in this one. Phoenix and Denver. The Suns run out the same starting lineup. I think they're terrible. I think they're legitimately terrible. 133-111. The final score here in favor of Denver. It wasn't particularly close really at any point. This was the second game of a back-to-back for Phoenix. Of course, Mark Williams was not there. People were surprised by that. I don't know why. It's annoying that Mark Williams is playing so few minutes, but the back-to-back was always going to be a problem. I don't think there was any doubt about that. Devin Booker, again, that's good. I'd like a little bit more. I probably can't ask for more than that. 31 points, 7 assists, 9 of 9 from the line, 63%. First game was rough. These 2 games have been pretty good. Grayson Allen just needs to be rostered for now. Even when Jalen Green returns, I can see Allen maybe maintaining numbers, 17, 4 and 5. While Brooks continues to be just an absolute bugbear. I hated watching this guy in Memphis, and then he reined it in Houston. He's got this thing where it's like, all right, I'm not a team that's maybe not that good. I'm going to go crazy. I'm just going to lose my mind. He went to Houston. They were good, and he pulled it back in. But now he takes 18 shots, the most on the team, 23% from 3, 33% overall, 15, 3 and 2 with 4 steals and a block. Overall is a pretty good line. But he just is one of the worst players to watch. But yeah, at the moment, that's absolutely good enough to be a 12-team league guy, and I can't believe that's the case. Ryan Dunn got 2 blocks. He had 7 rebounds. So if you're looking for out of position, and by out of position, he's small forward, power forward eligible. But he gives you center type numbers with rebounds and blocks and no scoring. So there's something a little bit there. And we also saw the Basmati man again. Royce O'Neal played 28 minutes. The numbers aren't good, but when the schedule makes sense, he's playing time, which we didn't think that he would. Only 14 minutes from Colin Gillespie, which I do not like to see. Thought he'd been playing well. That's frustrating in terms of minutes. And then with no Mark Williams, Iguodala started and had 4 points in 23 minutes. This is what bothers me about the Williams stuff. He is very clearly just better than everybody on this team. And the fact that he played 14 minutes yesterday is really frustrating. The thing that's also worrying is that Mark Williams is listed out with the knee. Now, you'll remember, He had the mystery back injury 2 years ago. And then he had a foot injury. And then when this trade got rejected from the Lakers, the information that I was told was that it wasn't the foot. It wasn't his back. And I wasn't sure if I was allowed to say it or not, so I didn't. But it was his knee. That is the problem. That was an injury that had never crept up before. And guess where we're at now? His knee. That's not good. That's not good. Now, I hope that they're just being extra cautious given that they gave up stuff to get him. But I understand the frustration. Now, personally, I hate when people do that, and I just did it myself. I will hold Mark Williams. I knew that it was going to be rough early on. I didn't think it would be this rough. But I'm giving myself time. The other options, useless. Kama Malwatch, 6 points. I think Malwatch will be good long term, but useless now. Nick Richards. What does bro even do here? 4 points in 10 minutes. And Iguodala, absolutely nothing. Let's talk about the Denver side of it. Again, they had this one in hand. Nikola Jokic gets a triple-double, but he just looks fat. Like, he just looks out of shape. 14, 15 with 3 steals is still excellent. He shot the ball well, but he barely shot it. He just does not seem right. But the numbers are great. Jamal Murray, 23 and 6, 5 assists. He's been excellent. And after a terrible start, Christian Brown was great as well. 20 points, 60%, and 8 of 8 from the line with 2 steals. Again, Brown's numbers are always easy to track. Shoots well, good numbers. Shoots poorly, bad numbers, because he doesn't do huge amounts else, although the 2 steals are nice. Aaron Gordon, predictably cooled off 25 minutes, but 17, 2 and 1 with 3 steals. You're not complaining. He's great. Now, I talked about this on the daily streaming show earlier today about the meme or the jokes that I make about double Onyx and Diamond, that sort of stuff, and talking about how it gets talked about at this level. It's those leagues, again, the level of competition and some of the decisions that get made are not particularly strong, I don't believe. Because Aaron Gordon was like 30% rostered in Diamond leagues. He, to me, was a guy to pick 100. And I'm not saying that I'm always right. I'm very much not. But again, that there's an idea that this is just better than all of us other plebs. Gordon is a must-roster player. It was a better night from Cam Johnson, although we did have foul trouble. 15 and 4, like we still hold him. While Bruce Brown is he's doing enough to make you think that when someone is out, Brown will be a nice 150-player league, 12-team streamer. Otherwise, he's like a 175 league guy. 12 and 7 from Jonas Valanciunas. Why is he rostered in 12-man leagues? I don't get that, but he is, and I don't understand it. He should not be. 12 and 7 is fine, but he's Jokic's backup, and that's realistically about it. Well, Tim Hardaway showed the Detroit Tim Hardaway 4 points, 17%, 26 minutes. He provides spacing, but everything else is bad. So, shall we do the monstrous line of the night? I don't think it's particularly difficult to figure out who's going to win them today. That is the wrong thing, Josh. Let's go back to it now. So, it's the weekend. I'm tired. Shall we go back and do the lines of the night again? Let's try it again. The monstrous line of the night. You probably saw it sneak up there. Chesterfield Holmgren, 31 points, 12 rebounds, 3 steals, 6 threes. He was great. You're also not going to be surprised to know that the waiver wire line of the night and the young gun of the night is the same person. It's the chicken, Cedric Coward. 27 points, perfect 6 of 6 from 3, 4 assists. He's been ridiculously good. Absolutely in 175-man leagues. 14-teamers, add him. Be cautious in 12s. Don't care if you do it. Just watch who you drop. And then lastly, the dud of the night. The worst performance by a highly rostered player is his teammate. It's Jalen Wells, who was useless. 5 points, 20% shooting, has not been a good start. If you wanted to drop Wells for Coward, go for it. I don't know that Wells' upside is anywhere close to high enough to make it worth holding onto him. And that is a bit of a sneaky Saturday recap. I'll be back tomorrow with a waiver wire show and a full Sunday recap as well. So, you subscribe, you stick around, you double bang. Guys, it's been a great first week. Not quite yet. We're almost there. We are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.